So we are only a few days away from Summer Game Fest, and guys, I'm gonna say right now, this showcase might actually be the best Summer Game Fest we've ever seen. Yeah, I know, setting expectations this high is never, I repeat, never a good thing. But come on, everything in the world is just lining up for this summer to be one to remember, potentially competing with announcements that we saw at E3, which by the way, RIP E3, we definitely miss you. Anyway, today I want to have a little fun with my horror enthusiasts as I want to talk to you guys about 9 horror game reveals that we could see at Summer Game Fest. For the record, I'm talking about actual reveals here, meaning that I will only be featuring games that have yet to be announced for, or at the very least, have yet to show off any gameplay. This means that while I do expect games like Chronos: The New Dawn and Little Nightmares 3 to show up at Summer Game Fest, they won't be featured in today's video at all. But before we get started, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel for more survival horror content. Also hit that like button if you enjoyed today's topic. Anyway, my name is Ruben with Nurse Space Games, and this is 9 horror game reveals that we could see at Summer Game Fest. Let's get it. Number 1, Resident Evil 9. There are 2 games that I've been waiting forever to see an update on, and honestly, I think both of them have a very strong chance of showing up at Summer Game Fest this year or at one of the other showcases this summer. One is Kingdom Hearts 4, which I talked about on my second channel, Fantasy Kingdom. The other is of course Resident Evil 9. I can't tell you how many events up until now that I expected this game to get revealed at, including last year's Summer Game Fest. But I think 2025 is the year. Not only does it make sense considering that Capcom is apparently targeting a 2026 release date for Resident Evil 9, but even the leakers that have been less optimistic about a reveal in the past are actually changing their tune for the upcoming showcase. Does Gollum, Andy, Jeff Grubb, Nathan, hey, you name it, just about every notable leaker out there believes that we'll see RE9 at Summer Game Fest. On top of that, Jeff Keighley revealed some of the partners for Summer Game Fest this year, and Capcom was on that list. I don't know what else they'll be there for other than maybe a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 announcement or some sort of Street Fighter announcement. I mean, we know it won't be Pragmata, that's for sure. No shade towards Pragmata, we all want to see what the hell that game is about and what's going on with it, but we probably won't see it, let's be real. Anyway, as for what to expect with Resident Evil 9, sources say that this game is the most ambitious Resident Evil game of the entire franchise. We already know that RE9 is a thing and that it's coming eventually, so I doubt Capcom will half-ass this announcement. Instead, I see them revealing a full trailer instead of a teaser trailer, similar to how Resident Evil Village and RE4 Remake were revealed for the first time. Number 2, Bioshock Remake or Bioshock 4. When I started to work on this list a few weeks ago, Bioshock 4 was much lower on this list. However, with recent rumors and leaks surrounding a major Bioshock announcement coming soon, the likelihood that a new Bioshock game gets announced at Summer Game Fest has gone up a lot recently. As to what type of Bioshock game, well, the sources are saying that the announcement apparently has a lot to do with Rapture. For those that don't know, Rapture is the main setting of the first 2 Bioshock games. This underwater city was surprisingly dark and terrifying for a first-person RPG shooter. So the fact that the upcoming announcement has something to do with this iconic location, well, this could mean a few different things. The first and most likely is that it has to do with the upcoming Bioshock movie that's being produced by Netflix. Considering that this movie was announced back in 2022, it does kind of make sense for them to reveal a major trailer or some sort of major announcement regarding this film. However, the optimistic side of me wants to believe that this upcoming announcement might lean towards a new game instead. And considering that the original Bioshock already received a remaster, chances are that if it's a game, it will more than likely be a remake or Bioshock 4. The remake is self-explanatory, as obviously the remake will be set in Rapture again. However, Bioshock 4 dealing with the Rapture is both interesting and a bit confusing. I won't dive into spoilers for previous games, but it would be interesting to see how a new entry of the series can somehow revisit Rapture in a new light. Number 3, Bloodborne Remaster or Remake. So normally I don't consider Soulsborne games as horror games. However, Bloodborne is the one exception due to it taking heavy inspiration from horror legends like Bram Stoker and H.P. Lovecraft. Combine that with the dark gothic setting and the terrifying monster designs, yeah, I'll definitely fight anybody that tells me that Bloodborne is not a horror game. Opinions aside, a Bloodborne remake sequel or even a remaster for crying out loud has been highly requested by the community, and that interest has only gone up since the major success of Elden Ring. Considering that Bloodborne is currently capped at 30 FPS on the PlayStation 4, obviously fans want to see a remaster or remake that changes this. And there are a few things that hint towards a Bloodborne remaster or remake being in development. The most recent and notable piece of evidence, albeit it's kind of speculation, is the fact that Sony filed a DMCA against some fan projects and mods for Bloodborne. Most notably, one was a fan-made mod that would make Bloodborne playable in 60 FPS on the PlayStation 4. So maybe Sony's cracking down on the fan projects because they don't want direct competition with their upcoming release of a Bloodborne remake or remaster. Number 4, Resident Evil 0 Remake or Code Veronica Remake. I know it might seem extremely unlikely and I'm probably asking for a bit too much here, but it is possible that Resident Evil 9 may not be the only RE game announced at Summer Game Fest. Hell, it is possible that a different Resident Evil game, like an RE0 or a Code Veronica Remake, gets revealed instead of Resident Evil 9 at all, right? I mean, that's a legitimate possibility. While I do believe RE9 is getting announced, I wouldn't be too shocked if another remake gets revealed as well, or at least teased. I mean, if we are to believe some of the notable leakers, Resident Evil 0 Remake and Code Veronica Remake are both in development as well, and some are saying that RE0 Remake might very well be completed around the same time as Resident Evil 9, to the point where it could release before Resident Evil 9. And while I do doubt that last statement, and a lot of sources have gone back on saying that anymore, I figured it's worth mentioning, especially since the rumors that RE0 Remake could also be a timed exclusive on the Nintendo Switch 2. Which coincidentally is also listed as a partner for Summer Game Fest alongside Capcom. Honestly, I'm not sold on this idea, as I do believe that Capcom wouldn't want to overshadow RE0 Remake with a Resident Evil 9 announcement, but I wanted to throw this possibility out there on the off chance that they do end up both getting announced at Summer Game Fest, or even a remake gets announced before RE9 gets revealed. Number 5, Silent Hill Townfall. You might be wondering why I have Silent Hill Townfall and another Silent Hill game that we'll talk about later on today's list, but really low on today's list. And it really just comes down to one word: Konami. In the past, Konami and Jeff Keighley haven't really been on the same page in terms of reveals for major Konami releases. Some people even assume that this is because there's some bad blood between the two, mainly due to Keighley's relationship with Hideo Kojima. To add more fuel to the fire, Konami is not listed as a partner for Summer Game Fest, which is a bit weird considering that they are releasing Metal Gear Solid Delta later this year. I will say that there are still unannounced partners for the showcase that haven't been revealed yet, but I thought it was worth mentioning that Konami was nowhere to be seen in the first round of partners. But with all of that being said, Townfall, the Silent Hill game that we've seen the least amount of updates on since it was announced at the 2022 Silent Hill Transmission, is actually being marketed by Annapurna, not Konami. And guess what? Annapurna is an official partner of Summer Game Fest. So perhaps we could see Townfall announced, and honestly, I think it's actually more likely than the next entry on today's list. Number 6, Silent Hill F. As stated earlier, Silent Hill F is a game that I'm less optimistic about when it comes to Summer Game Fest in comparison to Townfall. There's a few reasons for that. One, as I already said, Konami is not listed as a partner for Summer Game Fest yet as of recording this video. And unlike Townfall, Konami is handling all of the marketing for this game. Also, Konami prefers to do their own showcases for Silent Hill games marketed by them in the form of Silent Hill transmissions. So more than likely we'll probably see another transmission dedicated to Silent Hill F that will announce a release date and showcase gameplay for the first time. With that being said, I wouldn't say that Silent Hill F is definitely not showing up at Summer Game Fest. Konami has shown off new trailers and gameplay reveals at other showcases outside of their own transmissions, like Silent Hill 2 Remake at a State of Play last year. So until Konami is officially confirmed as a no-show for Summer Game Fest, I'm still going to hold out some hope that we'll see Silent Hill F in some form at the upcoming showcase. Although, as always, I'm going to manage my expectations. Small note though, there is a rumored State of Play happening in June, but at the time of recording this video, it hasn't been announced yet. And while technically not Summer Game Fest, I can see Silent Hill F showing up there to reveal gameplay footage for the first time and a release date. Number 7, Until Dawn 2. Speaking of games that are more likely to show up at the State of Play versus Summer Game Fest, Until Dawn 2 is another rumored horror game that apparently has been in development for a while now, and with the recent release of the not so great movie, perhaps now is a good time to officially reveal this much anticipated sequel. Again, while I don't think it'll be at Summer Game Fest technically, I can definitely see it being revealed at the rumored State of Play. However, let's not forget that Supermassive, the studio behind the original Until Dawn, is listed as a partner, although that could be for Directive 8020 and Little Nightmares 3, two games that are almost guaranteed to be at Summer Game Fest this year. Here's the kicker though, there have been rumors regarding a sequel to Supermassive's breakout hit, and those rumors suggest that Supermassive might not be the ones making the sequel. According to sources, Until Dawn 2 is actually being developed by Firesprite, a studio that was purchased by Sony back in 2021. So it is quite possible that Until Dawn 2 is right around the corner, and we could very well see a teaser at Summer Game Fest with an official trailer at the rumored State of Play in June. Number 8, Alien Isolation 2. Alien Isolation 2 might very well be the biggest long shot here in terms of which of these games on today's list is least likely to show up in any capacity at Summer Game Fest, but I wouldn't say it's completely impossible. While the game is clearly still in early stages of development per what Creative Assembly said last year when it was officially announced. we still don't have any official title, release window, or even a teaser regarding this game. Now listen, I'm all for not announcing a game too early in development, as it only upsets fans when the game is a no-show at big events like this one, but the fact is that Creative Assembly did announce that this game is in development, so it's kinda too late for that. However, the way they announced it could have been done better, as it was announced via a tweet. Considering how big of a deal this is, especially with the original director of the first game returning to direct this one, it kind of makes sense for Creative Assembly and Sega to make a bigger deal about this game, so at the very least, we could see a very short teaser with the title reveal at Summer Game Fest. Again, I know it's a stretch, but since the game has already been confirmed anyway via a tweet by Creative Assembly, they might as well start the hype train by dropping a logo reveal to make it known to more fans that this game is indeed a thing. Number 9, Bloober Team's Project M. Like with Konami, Bloober Team is not officially labeled as a partner yet. However, it is possible they could still be revealed in the next round of announcements by Jeff Keighley. And while Chronos, the new Dawn, is almost guaranteed to show up at Summer Game Fest in some capacity, I think they might also have another game that might sneak up on us. That of course being one of their other announced projects, Project M. Little is known about this game outside of the few details that the CEO of Bloober Team gave us. First off, this game will be a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Whether that means it'll appear on both Switch 1 and 2, that remains to be seen, but either way, this will be an exclusive horror game for Nintendo developed by Bloober Team. We've also been told that this game will be a low-budget title, so I wouldn't expect anything on the levels of Silent Hill 2 Remake or even Chronos the New Dawn. It's also supposed to be a third-person survival horror game, but outside of that, everything else is just speculation. I do think it's possible that we will see this game get revealed soon, especially since the Switch 2 comes out in just a few days, and a game like this one, an indie survival horror game, might do better as a reveal for Summer Game Fest than Nintendo's next showcase. But that does it for this episode of Nerdspace Games. Hit up the comments and let me know what you think of my list. Which of these games do you think will actually appear at Summer Game Fest or one of the other showcases this summer? Do you think we'll finally see the next Resident Evil game shown off? Let me know all of your opinions and thoughts down below. Also, don't forget to tune in at 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday, June 6th for my live stream of Summer Game Fest. Leading up to the showcase, we'll talk about predictions, expectations, create a bingo card, play some games, and get ready for what hopes to be a really great event. Oh, and I will be joined by other horror game creators, plus I'll be gifting some memberships after the event, so definitely stick around for after the show. But thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Nerdspace Games. Take care.